Okay, Amanda's going to demonstrate for us the special drop stitch technique that she developed for her pattern called the Pretty Ditty Bag, which you can find. It's a free pattern on Baroko's website and was published in their newsletter called Knit Bits. Take it away, Amanda.
Okay. Well, the main thing about doing this is that you're dropping stitches once you finish it, and then you drop the stitches all the way back down. But if we didn't do a double yarn over at the beginning, it would unravel all the way through the cast on, and then it wouldn't look as pretty. So the first step is to make a double yarn over way down at the bottom, which I'm going to do now. So I just knitted halfway through, and normally with a regular yarn over you'd just go across once, but we're going to do it twice so we have an extra loop on there. So I just wrapped it 2 times, and now I'm going to knit all the way to the end of the row, and you can already see in between the stitches there's 1 loop here and 1 loop there. So I'm just going to get to the other end of this, and the actual ditty bag itself, that pattern is in the round, and whereas this one I'm doing in rows, but it's still the same concept. So I'm going to turn it now and knit again. Actually, I'll be purling, and we're going to get all the way back to where I did those double yarn overs, and we're going to turn those into 2 stitches, so I kind of increased there, and those 2 stitches are going to be the ones that will end up dropping at the end. So I'm almost there. 1 more stitch, and then here's the first loop. I purl that guy, and then here's the second one, and you're going to have to be a little funky with it because it's looped around, so I'm going to do something like this. That might not work. Maybe this will do. Actually, I think I should knit into it. I have to do this the second time. Okay!
Okay, knit into the second one.
Yeah,
okay.
Knit into the second one, don't purl. And normally with the ditty bag pattern, it's in the round, so you'd be knitting them anyway instead of purling.
Oh, good point.
So that is not relevant.
So this is how you set up for your drop stitch, and now we're going to knit some more and show you how you drop them and then work
them down and bring them back up.
Okay.
Yay!
All right, we're going to take a little break, and all right, now magically Amanda has managed to knit several inches of her sample swatch. So what are you going to do now?
Okay, so this is the right side of the fabric that we have facing us, and this is the row where we cast off and we do the dropping and then working it back up, and then we finish casting off. So I'm going to work all the way to these stitches, then I'm going to drop these 2 all the way down to the double yarn over we made, and then I'm going to use a crochet hook to knit them up as 1 stitch all the way back to the top, and I'm going to take that final loop, put it back on my needle, and treat it like a regular stitch and cast off all the way to the end.
Okay.
So, let's get started. So I'm beginning the cast off process, and I cast off purl-wise so that it'll match the rest of the purl stitch fabric I have going on here. I'm casting off.
Now in the ditty bag you're going to have some twisted stitches or cables or something going on too.
Twisted stitches to add a little extra texture, and you'll also repeat this process a number of times because I think the bag has, I can't remember exactly the number, but there's like 8 or something of these drop events.
Okay.
So the cast off row takes kind of a long time compared to your typical one. Okay, so I've got 1 stitch left over on my right needle, and I have the 2 that we're going to drop ready to go. So I'm just going to slide them both off, and then we're going to pull them until they unravel all the way down to the double yarn over. And the ditty bag is knit with Barocco Pure Pima, and that is a lot less sticky than this wool that I'm knitting with right now, so it won't, this one kind of grabs on a little bit more.
So the drop should drop faster in the Pure Pima.
The drop will be a lot more exciting than this one is. I think that one is not even coming down, so let's see if I can get it. Oh my gosh, there we go. So We're almost down to the bottom. And then there's that loop that's sticking a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hold that out so we can see what we
Yes.
got now? Yeah.
This is what we have now.
Oh, that's so attractive.
It's so beautiful, and yet we're going to make it even better with the crochet hook. And I might need to lay this on maybe the arm of the chair.
Okay.
And I might take this out just because I know that stitch isn't going to go anywhere, and then that way it's easier to see. So you go all the way down to the very first set of loops here, and in the Pretty Ditty Bag pattern you use 4 loops together instead of just one, and we're going to treat it like it's one big strand together.
Okay.
And you're going to loop it up just like you would a drop stitch, only you're using 4 strands together at a time.
Okay.
So there's another 4, and you can use your fingers to help you because it's kind of a big floppy mess. So there's 4 more right there. I'm pulling it
And
through
now we
like
find out if we
that.
remember to count in an even multiple of 4
Which
when we got ready.
Cleverly I did not. But I think actually in the Pretty Ditty Bag pattern it does end with 2.
Oh, okay.
Which I failed to write into the pattern. Okay. So there's the 2. And now I put them back onto my left needle.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a regular stitch that just looks a little bigger. And now we have this cool,
Yeah, it's like a braid or
big,
something.
weird, braid thing. And then you can take your needle back and get it going again. Okay, so now we're going to act like this is just a regular stitch that we're going to cast off.
And you're going to knit that one?
Yes.
Just because it looks like a knit stitch?
It looks like a knit.
Okay.
So I'm binding off in pattern.
And you knit those 2 strands as one?
As one.
Okay.
I treat it just like one real big stitch.
Okay.
And then that way, that whole drop thing is all secure and everything is taken care of. And then we'll just continue casting off until the end.
Okay. And then we'll see what we've got.
And then we'll see a really awesome, cool swatch. And then with the ditty bag, of course, you do that like 6 or 8 more times all along the bag.
So you picked 4 stitches because you liked the way it turned out, but there's no
Yeah.
particular reason it couldn't be
Exactly.
2 or 3 or
Yeah, you
6
could
or
do
whatever.
like a really chunky one that had a lot, or you could do one that was just like 2 stitches. Now I'm gonna slide that through so that we can look at it.
Okay.
And there it is. And then it makes kind of a giant eyelet at the end, which is what we use to thread the fabric tie through.
Oh.
And that was nice because then that way you had this big, nice hole that you could put a pretty significant chunk of fabric through to use as a drawstring.
Perfect.
Yay!
Thank you, Amanda. I'm sure this will be very helpful to people attempting that pretty nitty bag.
Yeah.
Pretty ditty bag.
Pretty ditty bag.
Pretty ditty nitty. Sitting pretty bag.
Exactly.
Thanks, Amanda.
You're welcome.